What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good day, and you continue to have many good days ahead, no matter where you live, no matter what time it is. Like I said, I do wish you a very good day. And so, let's talk about the latest chapter of the promised Neverland. So this chapter is incredibly simple, and I don't think this video is necessarily going to be too long. I can see this video averaging around between 5 to maybe 9 minutes. I don't think it's going to be too long of a video, because it's a very simple chapter, and yeah. So anyways, the armory. That is the main focus of the chapter. How do they prepare? Now, normal circumstances, if you were to walk into this armory, obviously you would want to grab the biggest gun. That's common sense, okay? When you walk into something like this, like if you're in a game or whatever, like if you're playing a game, or if it's your first time seeing a big arsenal of, weaponry, you'll probably grab the biggest gun. For instance, an RPG or something. It's common sense. That's what people would do. And so, when you see all these big weapons on display, since this is like their first real time seeing stuff like this, you would assume that normally they would go after the biggest thing. However, we are once again reminded that our main cast of characters, they are not stupid, and even though they're children of age, you shouldn't think they're necessarily children, because the way they were raised, the way they were bred to be, actually honest about it, they were raised in a way to where they can think outside the box, but also be at a level of an adult and even beyond an adult. So Ray and Emma coming to terms with not grabbing the biggest gun because it would actually hinder them overall was actually a good thing, which showed their intelligence once more. So anyways, getting into it though, they have to decide what they want, and it's very crucial. When you look at the armory that they're going through, there is a lot to choose from. So much, in fact, that there's stuff that we haven't even seen, like stuff that's not even in our world. For instance, on our planet, we haven't seen some of these weapons that were on display in this chapter. So once again, it's reinstated that the technology, or at the very least when it comes to weapons, are very advanced and way beyond what we have today. Now, obviously, this is set many years after our present timeline in real world, but even still, though, the technology that we see there clearly was above our time, since it was sent a long time ago. So it just makes you wonder, how far advanced is demon civilization or human civilization? How is their economy? How is their politics? It makes you wonder, how does their stuff run for something like this to be showcased with all these different type of weapons and the way they look. They look very unique or different. And so, like I said, once again, I'm very curious to see how demon civilization is and how they actually run things. Do they have skyscrapers like we do, or do they live much differently than we do? I'm just very curious about that. Anyways, as they look at the man with no name, they're trying to figure out what they want. And they notice that the man picks up a gun, and he also picks up a knife. He doesn't get a handgun, he just gets extra ammo, he gets one gun, he gets a knife, and then that's basically it. And it makes a lot of sense, because guns are not, light. They aren't, especially when you're a kid. When you're a young kid, especially their age, and you're in an armory and all that, you gotta imagine how much that must weigh and how heavy it would be for them to even handle something like that. I mean, you're not even factoring in the kick of it when you're firing, so it makes a lot of questions. Like, obviously they can't grab the biggest gun and think it's gonna be fine, so they need to grab something small that they can carry around, but also have enough mobility, but also be safe with it as well. Because, I mean, if they grab something that's really small and barely grab any ammo, then it's gonna be pointless to even bring something in the first place. But they need to bring enough to where they could be fine, but at the same time, they can't bring too much, or they'll be at a very big disadvantage, because they would need to run eventually. I mean, if a demon spots them, the best course of action is to try to get away and run, and even not be noticed in the first place. But if there is a chance you get noticed, and if you are resorted to use your weapons, you need to have something that can at the very least fight back somewhat. So that's basically what happened. Ray and Emma learning from the man with no name on how they can survive in this upcoming arc for the series. So, besides that, let's talk about the weapon, the little handgun. So, the dude didn't choose a handgun at all, which is very curious when you think about it. I mean, it makes sense he would choose, like, a rifle or whatever, but it makes you wonder why he didn't choose a handgun. Unless they're very loud or something. There's something off, because it's really weird. It's really weird. Now, I know handguns don't have as much power as probably, rifles or anything, or even these futuristic handguns probably don't, but then it still makes you wonder, why didn't he? And when they look at this gun, it has 4 barrels, which is very strange, and it makes you wonder, can it shoot 4 bullets at once? Or is there something else off about the weapon? Maybe it's a lot stronger than it appears, but it's very small and light. That could be a thing, because we gotta remember that a lot of this, stuff in this armory is futuristic technology. And so that little handgun could be probably like, maybe a RPG type status. It could be almost as powerful as an RPG, but it's a little handgun that shoots 4 times and all that. So what I'm getting at is there is a possibility that some guns that are very small are very powerful, but have a lot of noise, and they need to worry about that as well. Noise is a big factor. If they use their gun or whatever, that noise is going to echo, people are going to find it, and then they're going to search for it, and then we know what's going to happen then. So that's just a big thing. Anyways, besides that, we get into the aftermath of the chapter. For instance, now that they've gotten what they want and they're about to begin their journey next week, they're prepping everybody for their, actual journey. They're letting them know that we're going to be gone, and so they're trying to teach them how to hunt, how to defend themselves, and all of that, and that's what basically, Emma and Ray were doing. You had it to where Dawn, he was learning how to hunt, and he was being taught by Emma in this chapter, which is really cool, because it shows that Dawn, he's going to be picking up on these skills that Emma had, and he's going to probably be a very important character in the future. When Emma finally does come back, we don't know if they'll ever return back in, a good amount of time. We don't really know. I mean, for all we know is these two characters, Ray and Emma, they could split up and be gone for years or whatever. We really don't know. And so it makes you wonder, I mean, if when she does meet Dawn and Gilda and all of them again, they'll probably have a lot of new skills that could really help them out in the future if a long time does pass. I also do like the fact of how Gilda is very, very ballsy in this chapter. She's like, look, if you bring back nobody, I'm going to assume that you ended them, and I'm going to get rid of this shelter. So you best make sure that one of them survives. I really like the ballsy move from Gilda. I mean, it seems more like an empty threat, because we know for a fact she probably wouldn't get rid of the shelter and hurt any of the children, but even still, though, it was pretty ballsy to see her have like an Emma moment throughout the chapter. So that's about it. Like I said, the chapter is very simple. It's a good chapter, but just a very simple chapter, and it does seem like we'll be getting back into some really good stuff in the upcoming weeks. So let me know your thoughts and how you feel about the latest chapter of The Promised Neverland. Did you enjoy this video? If so, please leave a like, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you want to support me for I can continue to focus on YouTube, please go in the description and support me on Patreon. It helps me out a lot. So love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.